Om Ishwaraya Namaha, Guruvadi Saranam, Tiruvadi Saranam. A very warm welcome to all of you who have come for this short introduction on soul cleansing, what is soul liberation, what the soul is. I welcome each and every one of you to this session, and with the blessings of the Guru Amma at the temple and all the higher beings who exist in a different plane, we will begin the talk. So I would like to tell what Gnanalayam or the Wisdom Temple all is about. So the Wisdom Temple was constructed in the year 1998 at Pondicherry. It's also called Gnanalayam. Jnanam refers to wisdom, Alayam refers to temple. So it was constructed in 1998, a very unique structure, an architectural splendor, which is circular in shape, and it's an architectural wonder. And the ever-burning lamp, there's an ever-burning lamp which has been lit on 2008, and it's still been there. So for the past 15 years, the ever-burning lamp is burning at the temple. And for the past 5 years, we have several higher beings who have descended at that ever-burning lamp and provided some very important information about the soul, the location of the soul, the food for the soul, what consciousness means, and all that information that remained hidden for several ages. All the existential questions have been answered by the higher beings who have descended at Gnanalayam. So the temple, the uniqueness of the temple is it's a place where all the transition of ages has occurred. You all know there's a cycle from the Satya Yuga, the golden age, to Treta Yuga, when Ramayana happened, and Dwapara Yuga, when Mahabharata happened. And we are currently living in the Kali Yuga. So this cyclical period, these 4 periods keep repeating itself in a cycle. And there have been thousands of these 4 period cycles that have passed away. And Gnanalayam is one such unique location where all such transitions have happened in the past, as revealed by the great sage Agastya. So the temple has a light bridge which was built by the Guru Amma. Light bridge is just a road or a connection between the Jivatma and the Paramatma, the abode of the God. That's what you can say. So this light bridge aids or helps in moving souls, or in helping souls to go and have a union with the Supreme Creator. So that's how this light bridge helps, because there always needs to be a bridge, a person who connects you to the higher being, and Gnanalayam has that light bridge which connects the Supreme Creator to the Jivatma in the earth. So far, Gnanalayam has released 12 books, out of which 10 are in Tamil and 2 books have been translated in English. And all these books are very scientific, covering neurospiritual aspects, cosmology, soul, atoms, neurons, light, human brain, all concepts that are very highly scientific in nature. So usually spirituality does not go into the realm of science, but what the higher beings have revealed is it's a very high time that spirituality and science have a perfect union, because it is due to the order of natural necessity, the impending change of age. So what the great sage Agastya Maharishi is doing is he says there's going to be a change of age from Kali Yuga to the golden age. And for that, he is collecting 18 circles of seeds, which is around 10,50,000 souls. So Agastya Maharishi has this great task, and he collects it in the order of 2 to the power n. So every circle goes or increases in the order of 2 to the power n, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And so far, 10 circles of flowers have been liberated, and the 11th circle is going to be completed. So this is the great task of the sage Agastya Maharishi, who has taken upon himself to have this transition in age. And for that, is giving a specific initiation technique, basically soul cleansing. That's what's happening in the temple. The temple is run by Parimala Guru Annai. Though she attained Mahasamadhi, she passed away last year. Still, she runs the temple as the Guru in subtle form and through her astral body. She gives the initiation, the cosmic sound initiation, and uses me as an instrument. I am her second son, and I am being used as an instrument by the Guru Annai to give this initiation to souls all over the world. So every religion has its own form of redemption, and Hinduism, Buddhism, we all believe in reincarnation. And what the higher being says is the main source of all problems is the cycle of birth and death. And the purpose of life, the purpose to be born on this earth is not to have another rebirth. And we forget about that once we take life into earth. We forget about that due to all the illusions that are surrounding us, the Maya. The Maya veils completely make us forget why we are born in the earth. The purpose of birth is not to have another rebirth, but we keep getting born again and again. And that is the reason we have all these ailments, diseases. So the basic thing is the transition of age. We clearly see all the events happening outside the pandemic that's happening. But these messages have been coming for the past 5 years, long before the outbreak. Higher beings have said, like, it's very high time that one has to get rid himself from the cycle of birth and death, because that is to soul liberate or to cleanse his soul and to have a perfect union with the God. Because if you are born again and again, what they say is there will be a destruction of the soul atom itself. We all know that the soul never destroys, but it's only the human body which disintegrates or which burns in fire or is buried. But the soul is born again and again. But what the higher being says, the soul is going to get destroyed. So liberate yourself. That is the kind of warning that we have been getting from the higher beings. So when I say the word soul, we must know what is a soul. So where is the soul located? And what is the food for the soul? So these are some important questions. So if you look at contemporary medical science or any kind of research that happens on who am I, the current research only exists at the level of consciousness. Where from does emotions come? Where does feelings arise from? This is the research that is happening. And that too, there is no complete picture into that. So I would like to mention one such research by Dr. Stuart Hameroff and Dr. Roger Penrose. They have constructed a theory called orchestrated objective reduction, which says consciousness arises from the microtubules inside the neurons in your brain. So that's what they found out. Consciousness is just pinging. It's like a ping which comes from there. So that's the latest we have in consciousness study. And what they have said is the microtubules, the information inside the neurons in the microtubule region kind of represents what's in the space. What's in the cosmos is what's present in the brain. That's what they found out. Roger Penrose, being a Nobel Prize laureate, he received this Nobel Prize in 2020. So he's a physicist, astrophysicist who studies about space. And Dr. Stuart Hameroff is an anesthesiologist. So it's medical science and space, two people combined together, saying that neuron is an exact replica of the cosmic system or the solar system, or you can call it the universe. So they say there is an exact replica of the universe in your neuron system. So that is the current research that is happening on consciousness currently. So if you look at the Tamil tradition, especially the southern wisdom of Tamil Siddhars, they've always talked about, the location of the soul. They have kind of said it in hidden meanings through several, verses of songs. So this location of the soul, that's what is all that is important. Before that, what is the soul? the great sage Agastya in the books of Gnanalayam has mentioned the soul as soul is an atom made up of a composite mixture of mercuric space molecules. Again, I would just like to reiterate it. What they say, soul is not something you see, something, you see in movies, just like an airy movement of a body, or, the astral form coming out of the body. It's not the soul. What they call the soul is an atom. We all know an atom by itself is very small, and they say soul is an atom made up of a composite mixture of mercuric space molecule. So it's not a molecule that you can test in a microscope. It's a space molecule. We all know there are 5 elements of nature, right? Solid, which is earth, water, air, fire, and the 5th element being space. So these elements, earth and water, you can see through a microscope, but the element of space, you cannot measure or you cannot see through a microscope. So they call it as a space element, which is made of mercuric space molecules. See, mercury is a very important concept in the Tamil Siddhas tradition. It was also researched by the great physicist Newton, who discovered the laws of gravity, was the first person to enter into the realm of gravity. And he was doing a lot of experiments with mercury, but it did not come out, because they all know the alchemy or the science behind mercury and its uniqueness in creation theory. So the great Siddhas have said your soul is a mercuric space molecule, which is present in the midbrain. So we come to the location again. So they have defined this region as the primitive midbrain. We all know this is the outer cortex of our head, and the midbrain is the core part. And they have defined a region called Interpedicular Fossa or Substantia nigra. And this area looks like, the namam on the forehead, what you wear in the forehead. The Saivites and the Vishnu people, people who worship Lord Vishnu, they wear this marks on the forehead. These are present exactly in that spot. Substantia nigra looks like the 3 marks on the forehead the Shaivites wear, and the namam were worn by people worshipping Vishnu is also present there. So the soul is exactly in this region called Interpedicular Fossa and Substantia nigra. So they explain that region. Before that, I would just like to show you a diagram of what the midbrain looks like. This is the revelation that has happened. So this is a cross section of the human brain, the midbrain region. As I was telling, you see the first one is the soul atom. You could see the marking as the soul atom. This is what I have been saying. It is an atom made of a mercuric space molecules, a composite mixture of mercuric space molecules. And close to that, you find the pineal gland. And inside the pineal gland, they talk about the single atom. So the single atom is the life force energy, and the soul is the Shiva, the masculine energy, and the feminine energy is the single atom located inside the pineal gland. So what the basic food for the soul atom is? That we come to the next topic. First, whatever we eat, right, gets digested, then it goes to the alimentary canal, then it goes as ATP or energy to the body. So what is the food for the soul? The food for the soul is sunlight. And that is another important revelation. So we see a lot of, saints who have not eaten for maybe 3 years, 4 years. They only survive in sunlight because they get the food for their soul from sunlight. So again, Lord Murugar, Lord Subramanya, is called by various names, the son of Lord Shiva. He explains in the Book of Light, it's called as Ori in Tamil, the composition of sunlight. He says sunlight is made up of 4 minerals, 5 elements of nature, and 3 energy strands. 4 elements are mercury, copper, gold, and silver. 5 elements of nature are space, fire, air, earth, and water. And the 3 energy strands are magnetic, electric, and toxic. Multiply all these kinds of energy, 4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3, you get 60 types of energy from sunlight. So every 24 minutes, there is a unique combination of energy from sunlight. That sunlight, when it enters your head, first goes to the soul atom. So this is where I said, the 4 marks, the Namam and the Saivites wearing the 4 marks in their head. This is exactly at this location where the soul atom is present. And then the energy from the sunlight, the electromagnetic energy, goes to the pineal gland. And the single atom within the pineal gland processes this sunlight and converts it into electrical and magnetic energy. So this is the pineal gland. This is the 7th veil surrounding your pineal gland. And right below is where you see the pituitary gland, which is also called the royal gland. So this energy is passed on through spiral form nerves. They call these nerves called Suru Munai Nadi, or spiral form nerves. So all this electrical and magnetic energy is passed on to this pituitary gland. And once the pituitary receives the sunlight, it kind of separates the elements present. Mercury, copper, gold, all the elements are separated. Again, another important revelation, what Lord Aramuhana says is all the planets in the solar system are present as glands in the human brain, which is again a breakthrough information. He says, on the right hemisphere of your cerebrum, you have the Mercury gland, the Mercury planet present as the Mercury gland, and then the Venus planet as a Venus gland. And right inside your pituitary, you have the Moon gland. On the left hemisphere in the cerebellum, you have the Mars gland, Jupiter gland, Saturn. All these are present in a circular shape, like the chakra you see in Lord Vishnu's hand. All these planets are arranged in a circular pattern, like the chakra present in the hands of Lord Vishnu. And if you look at the location of the soul atom and the pineal gland, they look like a conch shell. The sangha that is present in the hands of Vishnu, the conch shell and chakra, both are present as neural structures in the human brain. So what happens? The sunlight which comes to the soul atom goes to the pineal gland, and through these spiral form nerves comes to the pituitary gland, which splits all the elements. Mercury receives mercury metal, Venus receives silver, Mars receives copper, Jupiter receives gold, Saturn receives iron. So all these elements are split, all the energy is split, and that's how the soul functions. So this explains how the soul helps or in the body functioning, or how the soul receives the energy from the sunlight. So again, a very important information is this space between the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. What they call this as the sacred space between the pineal and the pituitary. It's right in the midbrain region. And all these circles that you see, these spirals, are neurons. 10 layers of neurons is what you see. And this is where all the important information of your previous births are stored. So why is rebirth occurring? So when you ask that question, what they say is, when you desire at a particular thing, what happens is the electrons inside the neurons emit heat energy, and this heat energy attracts the soul particles, which are made up of magnetic energy. So a soul atom is made of thousands of soul particles, magnetic soul particles, and each particle comes down to these circles and gets imprisoned within the electrons at a neutronal level. We all know neurons are a cellular level, and inside that, at an atomic level, all the soul particles are captured, just like a prison. So unless these soul particles are liberated and gets back to the soul atom, rebirth occurs again and again. So this is the entire concept. So we all talk about time travel, right? We have seen many movies of time travel, people going to the past, maybe to the future, but this is where all that happens. All time travel is happening right inside your midbrain in this region. So they say these 10 circles of atom exist in 10-dimensional states. We all know the 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. So they talk about 10 dimensions and all the memories of the previous yugas. If you were born during the Treta Yuga, then your memory imprints are stored in the soul particles here, and it gets imprisoned into that circle. And if you were born in the Kali Yuga, then it gets imprinted into that particle. So it's all these karmic imprints which are stored on the soul particles at an atomic level. So what happens is, if your desire is not fulfilled, then all these imprints add on to the weight. So when you pass away, what happens is all these soul particles with its outer cover, with its coat, goes and attaches to the soul atom. And the soul atom wants to go above because it's very light. But due to that quantum gravity, due to the weight and the gravity of the earth, it gets stayed at the loka of Pitrus. And it finds another body, and this reincarnation keeps happening again and again. So what is the main thing? What is soul cleansing? What is this session all about? Is to remove the veils of Maya, karma, and pride. That's what we have mentioned here. So you see Maya, karma, and ego or pride. So they call this as ocular veils as well. You know, every eyes just behind the retina, what Lord Arumughana says is there are 3 veils which are obstructing the vision of the God within you. And they call it Maya, Karma, and Anava. So let me share another slide with you, which will show you what I'm talking about. See, this is Maya, karma. The white region is called Maya or illusion. And this region, you see the region of iris is where is the karmic layer. And then you see the black region, the inner region, the pupil. That's where you see this veil of pride. So this is just behind your retina. This is the region that we are talking about, the macula lutea region or fovea centralis. So what happens is these veils kind of block the inner vision of the particle within us. So soul cleansing is all about removing these 3 veils, the 3 veils of Maya, karma, and pride, which is present in your eyes as well as which is present inside the neurons. All that acidic, toxic waste, which is going to be cleansed. And that cleansing is happening is going to happen through the intervention of great sage Agasthyar and Parimala Guruvannai, who are going to perform this cleansing within your human brain. So this is basically what happens inside the human brain. So as I was explaining, you see the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, all these yugas, all the previous birth information is lodged into the soul particle. So every time a baby is born, what happens is all these unsplit particles comes and sits inside these electrons. And, unless they are liberated, unless the desire is fulfilled, this rebirth keeps happening again and again and again. So there have been certain simple techniques that have been explained by the great sage Bharadvaja Maharishi. The great sage Bharadvaja Maharishi was the father of the Guru Annai in the golden age. So he has been guiding the Guru Annai Parimala Devi for all these ages. Whenever she was born on this earthly plane, Bharadvaja Maharishi also used to descend down and guide the Guru Annai. He has given us a wonderful book called Agama Veda. It's written in Tamil, where he explains very simple thought processes, things that you can do right from the comforts of your home. How do I remove the veil of Maya? He says, wake up at sunrise, worship the sun, pray to sun to remove the veils of Maya, take some water in your hand and pour it down on earth and worship during sunrise and sunset. Because this practice was long before practice, but no one nowadays, worships the sun, because the sun is the location of the supreme creator. It is the house of the supreme God. Just as I said, the location of the soul is right in the midbrain region, the location of the supreme creator. We all get this question, right? Every day we get this, where is God? Where do you find God? Where does he reside? See, and they have even, the higher beings have even specified the location of God. We all have heard about God particle, right? God's particle or Higgs boson, Isatugal, they call as Isatugal. And sage Agastya says the location of the God is in the core of the sun. We all know the sun is a blazing fire hot ball made of helium, hydrogen gas. But right at the core of the sun is where the fuel for the sun happens. We all burn a diya lamp, right? And every lamp has a fuel, as an oil as a fuel. That's where the light comes from. There's always a source of fuel for any object that is glowing. So if the sun is burning so bright, the fuel for the sun, which is giving life to all the souls, to all the living things in planet Earth, comes right from the core of the sun. And he says that God stays there as a very big atom in solid oxygen state, in glacier ice format. That's why when we go to the Himalayas, right, we see the lingam in the glacier form. So representing that God is present as a glacier ice format, as solid oxygen inside, in a cryogenic state inside the core of the sun. So all the books of Gnanalayam, the recent book being the origins of the creator, we have all heard about the Genesis theory, about how God created man in 7 days, and how man was created on the 7th day, and the creation theory, the 7-day theory. We have all heard about that. But the higher beings have said how the cosmos has been formed from nothingness. All Buddhists and all wisdom traditions know that the entire cosmos came out from nothing, from emptiness. So the great sage Agastya explains there was perfect vacuum, there was nothingness in space, and that's when magnetic energy and electric energy, fused together to form a spirals of waves, and finally these mercury particles poured down, and several worlds, parallel worlds, were formed, and how all these mercury particles clinged on to each other to form this God's particle. So he explains the entire cosmology, all that questions that have been, pondering in the mind of scientists, like what is string theory? What are the basics of string theory? What is the wormhole? What is the black hole? And all these concepts have been explained to the detail in these books. Unfortunately, they have not been translated yet, but we are also planning to conduct classes next year, where all these concepts that have been explained in Tamil will be delivered as courses. So the first course is also happening in the month of January, which is Neurospirituality, which talks about how the planets in the solar system as present as glands within the human brain, how the human brain processes all this information. That's the Neurospirituality, the first module. The second module talks about the space, the neurons, and the pineal gland, the composition of the light bridge, all this information in the second module. And the third module talks about the cosmic creation and the sound system. Everything was created from that Om, the sound. So how did that sound happen? How does that system function? So all these intricate concepts are going to be covered as lecture series next month. So soul cleansing, as the topic rightly says, is nothing but cleansing all that acidic waste which are formed by the friction between protons and protons, neutrons and neutrons, all this atomic and cellular level interactions in the human brain creates this acidic toxic waste. And this acidic waste has started to increase. We see there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, especially in the last 2 years when there is so much of, artificial electromagnetic energy that is spread. A lot of people have gone under depression. So this acidic waste has increased to a greater extent, thereby imprisoning more soul particles. So what we are doing at Gnanalayam is they have given, the higher beings have given us a technique, an initiation technique, especially the Guru Amma, who is an avatar of Goddess Renuka Devi and also an avatar of the Adi Shakti. She has made a mantra with the functional sound of all the planets in the solar system. Just as I was talking earlier, I said all the planets in the solar system exist as glands in the human brain, in the cerebrum and in the cerebellum. So what happens is this mantra is going to pull down all that cosmic energy from the various planets and give it to your pineal gland, thereby removing the seventh veil. There are 7 veils. The 3 veils are just behind your retina, Maya, Karma, and Pride on your right eyes, and Maya, Karma, Pride on your left eyes, and the 7th veil surrounding your pineal gland. So what this mantra is going to do is remove all these veils, these acidic waste surrounding your pineal gland, kind of remove the dirt, and then thereby more melatonin is secreted. We all know that melatonin is a very important hormone for the circadian rhythm, for the sleep cycle. Because a sleep disorder is another major problem faced by everyone. So when this melatonin is secreted, what happens is kind of all this waste is removed and then soul cleansing happens. So this is a process that happens for a month, for a 30-day period, where you will have to recite the mantra for 24 minutes a day. That's all that you have to do. So this, so what do we gain from it? What does Gnanalayam gain from? There is no monetary motive. The only motive is to impart, to disseminate information received from higher beings directly to you. Usually, most of the people liberated are people who know the Tamil language. You all would know Tamil is a very ancient language, one of the foremost languages, and that's why all these messages, all the messages that we have received have come directly in the Tamil language. The purpose of this session is to convey this message to audiences who just know English, so that no one is left out. So all that you will have to do is take the initiation on a particular day. Every month, the 2nd or 3rd Thursday of every month, we have an online Diksha session, which can be taken over Zoom or through YouTube. So the next session happens on December 9th. So all that you will have to do is go to our website, enlightenedbeings.org, and then click on to Diksha registration, enter your name, age, WhatsApp number, and then you will find a WhatsApp link where you can come into the link and all the information will be given and you can take the initiation on that day. So it is a sound mantra. It is a sound mantra which you will have to practice for a period of 1 month to 40 days. So you take the mantra on December 9th, then January 16th or 17th, the full moon day of January is when your soul will get liberated. Again, what is soul liberation? Does it mean that am I going to die? Or what is going to be happening? What does liberation mean? Liberation means in this 1 month period, from December 9th to Jan 16th is a period of cleansing. The great sage Agastya is going to clean all that dirt that has been accumulated over many lives. He's going to do that cleansing. And he's going to split each and every soul particle from the binds of the electrons, remove it. And once the soul is all good, what is going to happen is the great event of soul liberation journey. That is going to happen on January 16th. That soul liberation journey is an exodus. We all know the exodus happened, the Jewish people moved from Egypt to the land of Canaan, to Israel. Similarly, from this earthly plane, we go to meet the Creator. That is the journey that is going to happen on the full moon day. After you practice this mantra for a whole month, the next full moon day, what's going to happen is your soul, along with all the souls that have taken this sound initiation, this cosmic sound initiation, with the guidance of Guru and all the Sapta Rishis, Bharadwaja Maharishi, Valmiki Maharishi, Vishwamitra, all are going to guide you and take you on this wonderful journey through the light bridge, where you visit different worlds, realms, right? The Siddhar world, which is very close to earth. And then you go to the Loka of Pitrus, your ancestors, you meet your ancestors. And as you cross the gravity, the edge of space, where gravity ceases, then you go and visit different kinds of worlds, light world, sound world. You enter into the planet from where you have been born, you go there and you come out, and finally you go inside the sun, have a merger, settle your accounts with the Supreme Creator. You say, these are the births that I have taken, these are all my karmic imprints, and you kind of settle your accounts, have a union with the Supreme Creator, and return back safely to the light bridge and back to your home. And the most beautiful aspect is, right at this wonderful journey of soul liberation, which happens on the full moon day, 1 month later from the day of initiation, what is going to happen is each and every one of the participants is going to be allocated or assigned or chosen by a higher divine being. See, there are 146 higher divine beings who are present as quantum soul light particles in the ever-burning lamp. So one of them, they will come right into your head and protect your body. As your soul is traveling on the light bridge, they're going to protect your body so that nothing happens to you until when your soul returns back. It's a 2-hour journey. It starts at 5 a.m. Indian Standard Time on a full moon day and ends by 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time. In this 2 hours, you're going to completely protect your body. So your soul comes to the light bridge at Pondicherry, goes up, crosses the edge of space, meets the Creator, comes back, and then the soul atom comes back to your body, and the higher being who's protecting your body will go out. So they will be your rescuer or savior at any time of crisis you want any help. The higher being who sits inside you, when you invoke them, they just come to your help. So this is a wonderful journey. Not only is your soul cleansed, your soul is liberated from the cycle of birth and death. And I'm very proud to say that Gnanalayam, or Wisdom Temple, is the only place currently at earth chosen by higher beings to give this redemption from the birth and death cycle. It can happen naturally, but not at this time of Kali Yuga, when there is a lot of pandemic, when there's a lot of artificial electromagnetic waves. Every individual can liberate himself. If you look at olden times, you see people doing penance. They sit in the forest, pray for 30 years, 40 years, get rid of all desires, and all that happens. But now is not the time. There's Maya, there's illusion everywhere. That's why this light bridge that I've been talking about, which the Guru Amma at Gnanalayam has constructed, is going to help in this translation. So your soul has already built a certain amount of light, but that light will merge with the light of the light bridge at the Wisdom Temple, and this liberation will happen. So this is the beautiful process that is going to happen. So we strongly encourage every one of you to register for this sound initiation. It's basically sounds of planets. When you turn on an AC, you hear a sound. When you turn on a fan, you hear a sound. Similarly, when a planet rotates or revolves around the sun, there is a sound emitted. So the functional sound of each planet in the solar system has been given, and they have been tied into a beautiful garland by goddess Renuka Devi. So this mantra, what it's going to do is pull down all that energy from the planets and give it to your brain. So you see, I have a different chart, astrological chart. This planet is in the retrograde position. It's not a good time for me. I have this Rahu Desha. I have a Ketu. I have this problem in my astrological charts. All this can be fixed because once the planets which are present as glands in your brain get all that cosmic energy, then it kind of balances out every aspect of your astrological chart. Your astrology numbers or chart, whatever be the problem, it is going to get rectified. The first problem that's going to be rectified is not another rebirth in this Kali Yuga. Apart from that, okay, this is another thing. What do I exactly get at this birth? Because that's the question we all, okay, another rebirth is all good, but what do I gain at this current birth? What is the benefits that I'll be receiving? The benefits is reduction of fear, anger, and jealousy. Okay, these are all the outcomes of the three veils I've been talking about. The veil of Maya, illusion. Okay, he has a very luxurious car and I don't have that car. That's envy, that's jealousy. You will not have envy towards anyone. Definitely you will see a reduction in jealousiness. And then fear. What is going to happen tomorrow? Is this particular disease going to affect me? No, that fear is not going to be there. And then finally, anger. Anger management is a very major problem. It is all about me. Okay, he did not respect me. He did not give me my due recognition. All these kind of I feeling will get reduced. So anger will reduce, fear will reduce, and then you will have a reduction in envy. And finally, you will have a state of emptiness, a state of nirvana, where you can do all tasks very easily, effortlessly, but in a very disconnected way. You will be doing all your worldly duties. You have a child who needs to get married, your son, daughter, all that will happen perfectly. Relationships will be perfect, but you will not be affected by any external events. That's the current benefits that what you're going to get through this sound initiation technique. So all this, is the information that we have received through the 10 volumes of books. These books, every page of the books that have been released in Gnanalayam are a Nobel Prize material, which is under scientific investigation. Once proven, it is a marvelous information, which all the scientists have been yearning for aeons, for years and years. They wanted to know who am I? How did the cosmic system emerge? All these questions have been answered in these books. So we strongly encourage you to register for this cosmic initiation and thereby, receive all the benefits. Definitely, there is no charges. Guru Dakshina is optional. We do not even ask about that. So all that we want is to pass on this information to non-Tamil speaking audience. That's the entire intention. Because Tamil speaking audience, they grasp the message because all messages are given in Tamil. So this session has been conducted so that way all non-Tamil speaking people anywhere in India, anywhere across the world can still benefit from this Diksha, from this initiation. All that you need to do is a committed practice of 24 minutes a day. It's just a guideline every day for 30 days. If you do this mantra practice, but you should have a very important intention that you do not need to have another birth. If you think that, oh, I want to have several births, then it's going to be very hard. Some of you might ask, why should I not have another birth in this Kali Yuga? But what Agastya says is, if you are going to have another birth, then your soul atom will be destroyed. We all heard about the flood of Noah, right? During Noah's time, Noah was telling to everyone, there's going to be a huge flood. So everyone come into the ark. No one listened to him. Similarly, the great sage Agastya says there's going to be a flood of brain cancer. He says brain cancer is going to be a very common ailment across all families. So you do not want to be born again in this Kali Yuga. Please liberate yourself. They're kind of begging, they're kind of asking, seeing the cry of the soul, they're asking, don't be born again. Relieve yourself from this cycle of birth and death. Everyone is going to get brain cancer, thereby you're going to lose your soul atom, you're going to lose your identity, you will be lost for eternity. For eternity, your identity is going to get lost. So liberate yourself. And they say, all these comets and meteors, which is going to come from, the space, when it strikes upon the earth, mankind cannot live on the surface of earth. So we will have to dig tunnels and live inside tunnels. Already, we see the pandemic has put us, in lockdown. We are not able to see the sun, heavy rains at most places. The sunlight is almost completely hidden from sight. So if this continues, if we are going to be born again and again, we will not have a glimpse of the sunlight, and we'll have to live in artificial lights in tunnels. So he says, completely avoid the situation. Why do you want to desire and be born again and again? Enough is enough. You have taken several births again and again. So all that you need to ask the higher beings is liberate myself from this cycle of birth and death. That's the only intention that you need to do. And when you say this mantra, the higher beings do that soul cleansing. Just like we cleanse our body with soap, all that acidic waste inside the brain is removed by the higher beings. Thereby, your soul becomes pristine, pure, becomes very clear, and it gets ready for liberation journey. Soul liberation journey, where you get to meet the Creator. And many have these visions of, meeting several lokas, the union with the Supreme Creator. You have a very cold feeling. So a lot of them have these beautiful experiences. So if you want to experience all these different worlds, have a very different outlook into life, want to see an improvement in your emotional behavior, a reduction in stress, anxiety, a recovery from depression, then please join this Diksha. As again, I have said repeatedly, there's no cost involved. It's purely a spiritual wisdom that's passed on from the higher beings, because as we get it, they have given it to us freely. We just pass it on to everyone who has a belief system. You definitely need to have belief, faith, surrender. That's what is all important. Because if you don't have faith and belief, then the entire core, the entire foundation gets lost. So once you have this belief, faith, and surrender, and you take this Diksha, then you see a lot of miracles happening around you. A lot of them have also told that many of their ailments, diseases that have been long pending, have been cured. There are, ailments like PCOD, cyst in women, they have been removed. A lot of people have seen a lot of improvements, but we are not focusing on the health aspects. We are focusing on the aspects of your soul. If your soul is cleansed, then automatically your body is revitalized. And what happens is you slowly even get a light body. I hope most of you know what a light body is, turning your entire body into light. It's also called as rainbow body by Tibetan Buddhists. They do this practice where the great Saint Vallalar in South India, he himself turned his entire body into light and he disappeared. So that is even a possibility. So when because there's so much of guidance, there's so much of techniques and practices which are also taught at the Wisdom Temple. So once you register for this Diksha, a lot of information is passed on, you get the training, and after the Diksha, continuous guidance also happens. Classes also happen at the temple during every year end. This year end, from December 25th to December 31st at Pondicherry, we are conducting 7 days of classes. So these classes kind of teaches you how to remove these veils. So you get a lot of information which helps you in attaining higher spiritual states, in attaining higher levels of consciousness. So that's what all this session is about. And I hope a few of you or many of you would have some questions to ask. So we will open the forum for a question and answer session. And I'll be very happy to answer your questions. So you can raise your hands if you have any questions and we can have a discussion. Sri Devi has raised her hand. Yes, ma.
Sir, is there any age limit for this?
Yes, ma. At least 20 years have to be completed, ma. 20 and above. 20 and above. And also, we strongly recommend from the day of initiation until the day of your soul liberation, which is about a month's time. If you can avoid non-vegetarian food, it's highly recommended.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma. And pregnant women are not allowed during this time because you have 2 lives in your body. So pregnant women are not allowed. Anyone above 20 and above can register for this Diksha. Shiva? Yes, sir.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm Jeeva from Malaysia. All right. This is my first session with you. I was introduced by my friend, okay, Devi.
Okay.
It's real because it's really interesting as well. Okay, I got so many info, and also I got a shock that Maya lives in our eyes itself. Okay, there's something new I learned.
Yeah.
Something new because throughout the day I was just thinking Maya has lived inside our body or what. But when I saw the slide, I was like, wow, Maya live in my eyes. Okay, so regarding the initiation, okay, like I'm married, all right? I'm married, okay. I do meditate as well every day for half an hour a day to meditate. But can I come there to Pondicherry once the pandemic over and everything? And can I take Diksha from there? Because over here, I am an airline crew, I'm flying.
Oh, okay.
Flying, okay. Most of the time, flying. Sometimes I have no time to maintain everything, so I worry. Or maybe on that full moon day as well, I may be flying as well.
Okay.
So just ask, is it possible for me to come there once everything is over and get Diksha there?
Definitely, sir. You every month on the 2nd or 3rd Thursday, for example, on December 9th next month, we have the online Diksha as well as the in-person Diksha at the temple. So if you like to do, the in-person Diksha, definitely once the pandemic is over, all these travel restrictions are, kind of removed. You can directly to the temple, take the Diksha, and you can experience the event as well, sir. But if you can also look into your travel itinerary, and if you see in December 9th, it should be around 7 to 8 is 9:30 to 10:30 Malaysia time is when initiation is happening, just 1 hour initiation. And you practice the mantra even when you're traveling. So whenever you find time, there's no specific time. Even when you are in the flight or when you're going to bed, you can practice the mantra. You can split the mantra into 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and you can listen to the mantra. So there are many options. So, but if you feel like coming to the temple and taking, you're always welcome. So we welcome you to the temple at Pondicherry.
Okay, and also if I come to the temple, can I stay in the temple?
At the temple, we don't have stay accommodation. So there are a few hotels nearby where you stay and come to the temple. It's like 5 to 10 minutes from the accommodation places, from the hotels, from where. At the temple, we do not have provisions for stay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ishanima?
Yeah, Namaskaram, sir. My question is the mantra, do we have to recite? Is there a particular time when it is to be recited, or what are the modalities? I mean,
definitely, ma.
Yeah.
The mantra can be told at any time of the day, ma. The only thing is you have to stay spiritually connected with the Guru Amma, because the Guru Amma is going to give you this mantra Diksha in a subtle form. She is the avatar of Goddess Renuka Devi. So all that you have to do is pray to Sage Agastya and to Guru Amma and to have that light connection with them. That's all. You need to develop a connection with them. And you can tell the mantra at any time of the day, even at night. There are no restrictions in time. You can lie down on your bed if you have a back problem. There is no specificity on, location. You don't need to go to the puja room. You can sit at the comforts of your bedroom. All that is, you have to be mentally connected to the higher being. That's all they are asking for. It's not that you need to tell the 24 minutes, repetitive mantra repetition for 20. They even ask you to tell for 10 minutes in the morning or another 5 minutes in the evening. They give you all that space. So there are no hard and fast rules. It's very flexible. And each and every time you say in the Brahma Muhurt time, which is like say 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, it has its own impacts. Then when you say during sunrise, it has its own. Every time is unique and has its own benefits. So whichever time is good for you. You should not be in a hurry. Like I'm cooking, I'm on a travel to my office, and then you tell the mantra, it becomes a procedure, it becomes a ritual. But we are not doing a ritual here. We are trying to build that connection between the guru and yourself. So the time which allows you to have the connection with the higher being is the right time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Rajesh.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Sir, in terms of guru, since one has already a guru, then how does one need to get again initiated? Because we're already having a guru where we're following the teachings and all. Then how we go about doing this?
Definitely, because most of them who have taken the Diksha they do have a guru. So you need to get the blessings of that guru. You need to pray. And the Guru, there's not a specificity. You don't need to have one guru, right? There are always many gurus. Even you take a class, for an example, you have a teacher for maths, you have a teacher for science. Similarly, at the gurus at their levels, they're all very united. They don't have any demarcation. They don't split among themselves. But what we are trying to do is, you don't even need to, consider the guru as your Sadguru. There's a difference between Sadguru. So you can definitely take this initiation, and if you are with another guru, you can still continue with them. If you are with another spiritual organization doing another practice, you can continue. But what we are saying is, during this initiation, the period of initiation to liberation, you pray to the Guru Amma. You pray to her as another guru. So you don't need to leave your guru and come out. So you just add Guru Amma to your worship. That's what we ask for at this time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Sandeep.
Yeah, sir, we are actually from northern part of the country. We are, from Delhi. So we have been referred by Mr. Santosh Kumar, and we just wanted to, seek guidance that, majority of these mantras, at times we find it difficult to, say that side, because, the kind of grooming we have. So, is there a particular way, that has to be followed, or?
No, sir, a complete guidance will be given. So these mantras, when you say it for 5 minutes, you will memorize it. So it's not a very hard mantra. Just requires 5 minutes of practice or 10 minutes of practice, and then it would memorize. This mantra has no language barrier. So the mantra is not in Tamil language. It's a Bija mantra. So it's common for, especially people of Indian origin can easily say the mantra. So it's more of like Sanskrit sounds only. So there's no language barrier. So it's very simple mantra. And then what we do is, we will also give the audio recording of the mantra said by the Guru Amma. When she was in her physical body, she used to tell the mantra. We have recorded it, and we will send it in the WhatsApp after the day of Diksha. So you can listen to that mantra, say how it is said, how it has to be pronounced. We will give the text as well. So you will not have any doubts. It's not a complicated mantra. It's a very simple 3-line mantra. So it will be very easy. So you will not have any problems in memorizing it. or in saying the mantra.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Muthuraman, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Maharashtra.
Okay, sir.
So I would like to understand that the objective of the soul cleansing or soul liberation process is to break the cycle of birth and life. The query is that, is it a one-time process in the lifetime, the soul cleansing as well as soul liberation? Or, even after going through the first process, I mean, this 1 month process, will there be any chances that that soul attracts or generates some desires and then, accumulates further, dirts for which you have to go through once again or repeat at times this soul cleansing and soul liberation process?
It's a very, very good question, sir. Very apt question. This rebirth will never happen again, sir, because the soul is settling its accounts. The atom is settling its accounts. But as you said, this accumulation of waste happens because it's a daily process. Maya or karma or pride, these dirts constantly happen. So this mantra can be told even after the soul liberation. But what's going to happen what if I don't say the mantra? Will another rebirth happen? No. What will happen is the great higher being said, what they have said is there's going to be one birth at the golden age, at the Satya Yuga. So during that age, if we have more dirts among us, we will be born in the lower order, maybe as a plant or as an animal. But if we have cleared all these deposits, then the level of birth would be a higher level, a human being or another higher being. So that's the only thing. So as I said, like even after the soul liberation, there are so many practices, techniques to remove the veils of Maya karma, which we will share in the group. So which when practiced will remove all these veils. It's like constant cleansing. There are a lot of practices which will happen. But even if that is not done, we will have the reassurance that we do not have another rebirth. So that's what we get, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Maruti, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. My name is Maruti, and my question is similar to Mr. Muthuraman. So my question is already answered. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm very happy because these are, it's like dubbing or translating from one language to another language is kind of very hard. We see how odd it looks, but to translate this core information, this highly spiritual wisdom information that's presented in Tamil language to English language, I was wondering if most of you would have understood or not understood, but the questions that I'm receiving gives me an assurance that you have kind of understood the core point of what I'm saying. The soul cleansing is all about removing the acidic waste that's happening in the midbrain. And once this waste is removed, the soul is ready for mukti, moksha, soul liberation. We have several names for that. So the soul becomes ready for that. So all this cosmic sound technique that is going, the initiation that's going to happen is going to prepare you for the day of soul liberation, which happens on the full moon day on the following month. So that these are the two processes. The first step is the initiation. You can call it as the Diksha or the cosmic sound initiation. The final stage is the soul liberation journey. So this period, this golden period of 1 month is where all these things happen. So I'm very happy that most of you kind of listened and, are asking wonderful questions. Thank you.
Sir, I'd just like to ask one more question. You see, when we are in this birth, we have a lot of vasanas with us. And then he said that during this period, we have a Sanjita karma and a Pralata karmas. So if during this birth, we only exhaust what is ordained, all the karmas and vasanas during this birth. So by doing this, what happened to our Pralata karma?
You mean the karmas that we have to do at this age, right, Ma?
Right. The vasanas and all?
All that will be completed beautifully, Ma. All that we have to do at this birth, everything will be fulfilled. All the karmas will be done in a perfect manner. It's not like we're going to go and live inside a forest, going to leave out the family. Because the Guru Amma always said, being in a family is what is important. She never encouraged ascetic life, like, leaving out the family, going as a sannyasin. It's not what the Guru Amma always, she said, always get married, live in the family atmosphere, stay with your wife and children, and grow your spirituality. So all your karmas related to your current birth, what like marrying your children, getting a job, or building a house, everything will be done perfectly. That will be complete. No worries on that.
And then the balance karma, when if we are going to get liberated, then what happened to the storage of karmas?
All that karmas are going to be removed, man. You look at in a CD, you have an imprint, right? All the data is imprinted on a CD. So what happens when you remove that imprints? All that will get erased. It's basically erasing all your past karmic memories, which is not good, which is more binding yourself. But the current karmas that you have to do, the duties that you have to do at this birth will be completely fulfilled. But all your previous life birth memories, karmic imprints, you might have hurt someone, or someone you might have helped someone. All these, all that positives and negatives is what is making the cycle of birth and death. That will be erased. But what you have to do at the current birth will be perfectly done.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Madhvi Prasad, sir, I think you have another question.
Yeah, sir, for this soul liberation, are we supposed to visit Pondicherry, or it will be done online?
Thank you for asking. The soul liberation happens at the comforts of your home, wherever you are located. You will have to sit in a meditative state from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time on the full moon day of the Diksha. Like if you're taking the Diksha on December 9th, for example, then Jan 16th or 17th, I'm not sure on the date, it should be Jan 16th is the full moon day. On that day, you can sit at the comforts of your home. If you're at Maharashtra or part, you can sit at your room and sit in a meditative state. And that higher being from the Gnanalayam lamp, ever-burning lamp, they will come to you at the speed of light, because they are quantum soul particles. So they can travel to any location, to multiple places at the speed of light. So they will come to your head, they will sit and protect your body. Your soul will come at the speed of light to the light bridge, and then this journey happens. So you're always welcome to the temple, but not everyone can come to. So we always encourage people in and around Pondicherry to come to the temple during soul liberation. But if you are far away, definitely at the comforts of your home is where this event happens. Every year for the past 2-3 years, we have people from Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, US, all around the world. People have been taking Diksha every month, have been liberated every month, every full moon day. So you don't need to leave the comforts of your home, sir. Just have to sit undisturbed.
So one more question. This being the Bijakshara mantra, so how many rounds of mala is supposed to be done?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
This being the Bijakshara mantra, so how many rounds are we supposed to do, and are there any mudras for doing it?
No mudras, sir. The mantra, what the mantra is, we will say only at that time, because that's when the transfer of energy happens. So you can say it for 108 times. If you have a japa mala, you can say it for 108 times or 24 minutes. So 24 minutes or 100, basically 30 minutes a day or 108 times is what you will have to say, sir. We'll take another 2 questions and we can wrap. Bindu, can we have a question from Bindu? Yes, ma'am.
Namaskaram, sir. Well, I wanted to ask the same question. Is there any number of times that we need to do? Just got clarified the same thing as well. And one more thing, generally what happens is even after the Diksha is done for the month long, so do we have to attend online every day or only on the day of initiation?
No, ma. Just only on the day of initiation, you have a 1 hour online session. All that is. Apart from that, we will be sending like 4 days once or a weekly once, certain audios and videos, just as a follow-up to tell what is the soul, why we are doing this, certain important information. We are not going to overload you with information, because again, too much information, no one is going to be able to read it. So you will just receive information. So there will be no follow-up sessions. So just 1 hour of initiation session, And then on the soul liberation day, we'll be sending, until the day of soul liberation, we will be sending messages on a timely basis, like 4 days once, 10 days once. The month will be, we have a schedule of messages that have to be sent. We will be sending you that messages, and you will have to sit on the soul liberation without any device, no laptops, no phones. You can turn off everything and sit in a meditative state on the day of soul liberation.
Okay, and one more thing, sir, I just wanted to add upon to this. Generally, what happens is, I mean, now that you're telling me after this month long, we will not be adding any karmic actions, further. So human brain is such that we tend to get so many thoughts, multiple thoughts, unavoidable sometimes unwantedly they come, negative, positive, everything. So will there be a suppression of those things after the Diksha, sir?
All these unnecessary thoughts, the fear, anxiety, and all this, you will have a different state of mind now. Your perception towards the world will be completely different. Because right now, whatever happens, you might feel panic. Okay, what is going to happen? You will leave that state of panic, and you will be at a state of calmness. You'll have that state of calmness within you, and everything would kind of move slowly around. So you will have a totally different kind of perception and mentality towards an outlook towards the world. So it will be very good, ma. It's a different experience which you will need to experience.
Thank you so much. Namaskaram, sir.
We'll take 2 more questions and we can wrap up the session. Shiva, sir.
Okay, so one more question. Sorry for asking this. Okay, like what you're saying, that on the liberation day, someone will come and sit on our body so our soul will travel. But my guru is Raghavendra. Okay, so I praise Raghavendra. So on the liberation day, will he come to my body?
No, sir. 6 higher beings at the Gnanalayam temple, they have been given this task of protecting us. Definitely, Guru Raghavendra, he will be, always with you. He will guide you. In fact, he has guided you even to attend this session. So the higher beings at their level, they're all, at the same frequency. We only kind of split them into religions, different gurus. Will this guru, my guru, accept the other guru? This is only at a human level, we think. Definitely, Guru Raghavendra will be blessing you on that day. But the higher being will be one of the 146 higher beings who are present at the Gnanalayam temple. It could be Avaya, Tiruvul. A lot of them are saints, a lot of them are siddhas, a lot of them are goddess, the powers of Lord Murugar. Most of them are very southern names who have been doing this worship for long years. So they will be assigned to you, sir. But definitely Guru Raghavendra will always be blessing. There's no doubt in it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we'll have the last question from Ishani, and then we'll call it a day.
Sir, one thing, this thing that you said that the soul will travel out on that day. So this is something very unsettling, just to say that, because we feel the soul is the life, right? So I'm just, it's just unsettling. So what would you say? Would there be, in case there's some accident or something?
Okay, right? When the soul travels, what we mean is your consciousness will be very much there, ma. Consciousness, in the sense we call the consciousness as all the electrons in the midbrain. So you will be aware of the sounds, what's happening around you, everything. But soul is just a particle. It's a very small particle that's traveling. So you would not feel like, that your life force energy has escaped your body and your life. You would not feel a lifeless state. You will definitely feel the presence around you, the movement around you, everything would be heard, but you will have visions and experiences which are very unique. So if you look at the Shirdi Sai Baba, if you have studied the Satcharita, Sai Baba is sitting at Shirdi and suddenly he leaves his hand into the fire, protecting a child, because they exist in a fire. It's not that Sai Baba is present at all places at all times. It's just the quantum theory. It's not like Sai Baba is not there. He's present at all places, but still he's able to save the child. So it's a state like that, where you exist here as well as you exist there. There's an entanglement that is happening. But basically the core, the life force energy, the single atom is traveling. So your life force is energy. The heat is definitely provided. Basically the heat energy. We say when a body is lifeless, what it means is the body has turned cold. So this heat is definitely provided by that higher being, but does not mean that you will not be without consciousness. You're not going to be aware of yours. Everything will be heard by your senses. Your senses will be all alive, but this journey will be experienced through vision, sounds. You will have a different kind of extrasensory perception, a different level of intelligence blossoming at that time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we have another hand up. Sridevi Ma.
Sir, have you gone through such experience, sir? Can you please explain?
Definitely, ma'am. We have around 5,000 people who have been, have experienced such. As I said, 10 circles, almost 11 circle is going to be completed. So a lot of them even have experiences far beyond what I have said. So it's not only about the experiences. My experiences, it's all good. But at the end of the day, how does it impact your life? That's what's important, right? How has the quality of my life improved? That's what's important. Because experiences, maybe a few of them might not have, some of them might have a great experience, all that is good. But at the end of the day, how has the quality of life improved? Is my emotions better managed? Is my anger reduced? Am I being more loving and friendly towards everyone? Am I building that empathy? Am I developing empathy towards everyone? Is my external environment affecting me? No, nothing is affecting me. I'm living in that free, tranquil, peaceful state of mind. Once you start to, every one of them, almost I would say 100% of them have this state of mind where they have no fear, no anger, no envy. They are living in a perfect state of tranquility. We call it nirvana, neerin vannam, a state of like water, an enlightened state. This enlightened state is experienced by most of them. Whether you have visions or not, there might be variation depending on the veils. The greater the veil, sometimes we don't have the entire vision of the journey, but definitely the emotional state, the living conditions or the emotional state of the person, for each one of them, including myself, there has been a total transition. We are living in a different world, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, I thank you, each and every one of you, for having spent your time on this Sunday. Being a Sunday, still you have taken your time to attend this session. And I pray to Guru Amma, I pray to Sage Agastya, Bharadwaja Maharishi, all the Sapta Rishis and Siddhars, that whatever said today must transpire into knowledge, must transpire into wisdom, and reach a level of realization. Finally, it's all about self-realization, realizing the God within us, realizing that God is inside each and every one of us, and not to seek outward. All the structures, all the symbolic structures of Hinduism are neural structures, because our Siddhars, our forefathers, who were quantum scientists, did not say anything with no reason. Everything had its own precision. Every symbol of Hinduism has its own specificity. They are neural structures in the brain, and God exists inside each one of us as the particle. Inside the pineal gland, in the soul atom, he exists. And once these veils, these doors are open in the retina, then we start to travel in this inward journey, the journey towards enlightenment. We don't see outside, where is God? We see the God inside us. And that is the purpose of this initiation, is to tell you where to seek God. God is within you, and you can finally become God yourself. That is from the state of Dvaita, from the state of duality, where I am separate from God, you reach to the state of Advaita, where you merge with God, you become one with God. And that's what all this initiation, soul cleansing, soul liberation is all about. And once you are through this journey, definitely you will start to experience more greater wisdom. All that you read, all the wisdom text, all the spiritual text that you read would make more meaning to you, would give you more sense of who you are, what is the purpose of your birth, and you will understand the purpose of birth is not to be born again. And that is what we have lost. That connection has been lost. And once we understand that we are here, we have taken an affirmation that not to be born again. And once we are born, we lose connection of that affirmation, of that resolution. So once we realize that, then we attain enlightenment. That's what we all seek for, that enlightenment, that peace, that state of mind where you attain a state of nirvana. So I pray to Guru Amma and to all the higher beings that you attain this state, and each and every one of you present in this session, in the Zoom, as well as those who are watching in YouTube, register. We strongly recommend you to register in our website for this program and get benefited with the blessings of all higher beings. So we take leave now. Om Ishwaraya Namaha.